You know, right now, there are 5 astronauts on board the International Space Station, orbiting our planet at the speeds of 27,600 kilometers per hour. While doing their scientific research, they're the ones with the God's eye view of our planet. Here on Earth, humans are witnessing and are also a big part of the growing world issues. Whether it's mass genocide, threat of a nuclear war, global warming, or countless other issues, the list goes on. While back in space, looking at Earth from the station, some astronauts experience something called the overview effect. The overview effect, as termed by Frank White, who's the author of the book, The Overview Effect, explains this as a cognitive shift in awareness reported by some astronauts and some cosmonauts during spaceflight, often while viewing the Earth from orbit or from the lunar surface. It refers to the experience of seeing firsthand the reality of Earth in space, which is immediately understood to be a tiny, fragile ball of life, hanging in the void, shielded and nourished by a paper-thin atmosphere. From space, national boundaries vanish, the conflicts that divide people become less important, and the need to create a planetary society with the united will to protect this pale blue dot becomes both obvious and imperative. Various extremist groups of individuals driven by their nationalistic, racist, and bigoted beliefs tell themselves to spill blood of the innocent, cause chaos, because their ideologies tell them to do so. They look to kill the innocents because they feel their cause is the right cause. But what they fail to realize is their extreme ideologies and murder is not the solution. Killing just cannot be justified, period. Countries are at political unrest, on the verge of war, because factors like past differences, resources, or more land agrees more with the idea of war. This has a possible risk of nuclear war, consequences of which could leave most of the humans and many other life forms on this planet to go extinct. Our misunderstandings or our unwillingness to admit the environmental wound we are giving to this planet are going to decrease the chances of our survival on this planet. If we continue like this, Earth will move on and survive for millions of years. It will be us that will be buried on the very planet we stand on today. None of us gets to choose what part of the world we are born under. We're here on this planet just like the 7 billion plus and counting. We shouldn't call ourselves Americans, Europeans, or whatever. We're citizens of this planet, Earthlings. Our basic worldview should be to take care of each other and of the planet that supports us on it. Every time I see the indifferences, the willingness to fight or decimate the ones that we disagree with, I fall back to this passage of the book by Carl Sagan, The Pale Blue Dot. Look at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and sufferings, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors so that, in glory and triumph, they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. Carl Sagan had requested this image to be taken by the Voyager 1 spacecraft on February 14, 1990. This image, I hope, gives us all a perspective to look at our lives differently. I hope this unites us all, regardless of what cultural or political or religious affiliations we are a part of. Imagine what we can do if all the citizens of this planet work together. What the world would be like if we all set aside our differences, and what it would be if we all worked for the betterment for every life form on this planet.